What's up, guys? It's Jay, and today we're going to be doing a movie review on Max Steel. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, guys, so I saw Max Steel on its release date, which was Friday, October, whatever. It was this weekend. And I saw the trailer for it like about a week ago, whenever I posted it on my social media. And I didn't know anything that Max Steel was getting a movie. I didn't see anybody talking about it on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, or on Facebook. I didn't see anybody talking about it. And from the trailer, it looked good. I liked the trailer. By the trailer, I was like, why aren't more people talking about this? And I realize it's because Max Steel isn't all that great. Not the movie, the overall toys, the cartoons. I tried watching the new cartoon, and I just never got around to finishing it. I think I watched like the first two episodes, and I just didn't finish it. So going into this movie, going into the trailer, I know nothing about Max Steel. I never watched the original cartoon. I don't even watch the newer cartoon, and I don't collect the toys, so I don't know anything about Max Steel. The only thing that I know is that it's aimed for a younger audience. It's aimed for the Ben 10 audience, ages 10 to whatever, or like ages 6 to like 10 or whatever. It's aimed for that demographic. So I went into this movie thinking it's going to be, wacky, quirky, because, it's aimed for a younger audience. And when I went to go see this movie, it was not that. It was better. I really enjoyed Max Steel. I'm not gonna say it's the greatest superhero of all time, but it definitely is different than any other superhero movie that any company is putting out, whether it's Marvel, whether it's DC. This movie is different from any of those because they focus on the origin story throughout the whole movie, from the start of the movie to the end of the movie. They focus on it, and I like that part about it. And I'm talking about the good parts about it right now. And I like that it was all origin throughout this whole movie. It was different because it's all story. It's not, hey, uh this is me, this is my power, let me learn my power, now let's fight. No, it wasn't like that. It was, hey, here's my origin. I'm gonna learn how to use it, and then find. He doesn't even know there's a bad guy. Like in the beginning, through the middle, you don't know there's a bad guy at all until like kind of like the very end of it, and there's like this big bad guy. Yeah, I just like the story. I enjoyed the story. It focuses on story throughout the whole movie, but well, I'll get into the bad later. The CGI work in it was good. I enjoyed the CGI work in it. Whenever he's using this, and there's gonna be spoilers in here. Sorry to mention that. Spoilers. Don't want spoilers. Don't watch this video. Um, but when he's using his powers and like the powers are like going up, I enjoyed it. When he's wearing the suit, I enjoyed it. I think the CGI work is really really great. As for character wise, Max as Max, I can't say if he's like the cartoon one, but I think he's a good actor. But the only thing is that he looked a little too old for this role. I definitely thought he was in his 20s. He wasn't in high school. I definitely didn't think he looked like he was in high school. I think they should have went with somebody who looked a little younger than him. Also, his mom, great actress. And again, I think she was a little young for the role. I think they should have made her a little bit older to kind of go with, because he looked older, so he looked older than he's supposed to be in high school. Love interest, she was a good part in it. To be honest, she really didn't serve any big parts in the movie. Her character wasn't really needed, but for what she did, I thought she was a good actress. Now, for the voice of Steel, I absolutely love it. I love the character of Steel. He's funny. He's like this thing that doesn't know what stuff is. So, uh, I just really enjoy Steel. I thought he was a really really good character, and if they do make a part two, I would love to see a lot more of Steel, because in this movie it was more about Max than Steel, and learning where Steel came from and just how Steel is. I would definitely want to know more about Steel if they do make a part two. So this movie is all about Max, but I want to see Steel. I want to see Steel kind of like up in. I want to see them both up in front, but kind of give Steel a little bit more love. So yeah. Also, the villain, I thought at the beginning. Here's the spoilers again. He was good. Whenever he was acting like a good guy, I thought he was a good actor. But the moment he put on that suit and he became the villain, his character, his acting just went downhill. The moment he put on that suit, he 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 was just a bad actor. They shouldn't have got him to play the role. I don't even know his name. I've seen him in a couple of other things, but he shouldn't have been the villain. They should have got somebody who's played a villain before and who's actually good and who would actually look good in the kind of suit, the villain suit, because A, he didn't look good in it, and B, once he got into that suit, he was just the worst character. You know, before they revealed that he was the bad guy, I thought he was a good actor. I thought he was gonna help out Max and Steel and kind of fight off this villain, these villains or whatever it is, whatever they are. I forgot what they're called. But him as a character, once he got into that suit, once he became the villain, it just went downhill from there for his character. I didn't like him as a villain. They definitely should have got somebody else as the villain. The action in it, it's very, very little action, guys. You get little action in this movie. The main part of the action is at the very end. And the reason why I say that is because this movie is all story. You have a couple of, oh, my powers, and that's one thing that I hated about this movie was not even 2 minutes into the movie, he's already like, whoa, I didn't like that part about it. I think they should have kind of developed his character a little and then been like, oh my god, my powers, in my opinion. The story, it was all story and very little action, and this movie, I'm coming back to this point, this movie was aimed for kids, but I was sitting in a theater with adults and kids, and I went at like 2, I think the movie started like 2 p.m., so it was like very early in the afternoon. I was with my mom. We kind of planned this like a couple of days before the movie actually came out. Usually whenever there's a movie that comes out that I want to see, I plan it like weeks and months ahead. But we didn't plan this, so we just went at like 2:30 p.m. In the afternoon, and there was kids actually there. And I kid you not, guys, me and my mom were the only ones laughing at this movie. We were the only ones laughing at the jokes. We were the only ones actually getting into the movie. The kids, because I was kind of sitting up in the top row where you could see, the screen, but you could see some of the seats. And the kids sitting kind of like to the left of me, you could tell they were bored because every couple of minutes they would get up and like walk, and like their parents would tell them to sit down, and they were bored because this movie is nothing but story. It's just all story. There's no really action coming at you, and I feel like this is where the movie is good, but then at the same time it can be bad because you're getting the viewers bored for your audience that you're aiming for. The kids were bored. The parents, I guess, were bored because they weren't really laughing. They weren't really into the movie. The guy behind me was like, I guess he was a fan of Max Steel because he kept talking like, whenever somebody said their name, he goes, "Oh yeah, that's him." So I guess he was a fan. But besides me and my mom, he was the only one that was getting into the movie. Everybody else in the theater, they couldn't care. There was not that many people, but everybody else in the theater, you could tell they just didn't care about it. Especially those kids, they were bored. So it's all story, very little action, guys. But with that being said, I enjoyed the movie. I'm not gonna say I absolutely loved the movie, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had a fun time with it. Very different. I guess the reason why I liked it and I had a fun time with it is because it's different from other superhero movies. Superhero movies, they throw action all at you, and I said this with my that Batman v Superman review, where action just constantly coming at you. With me, I love a good story. If the story isn't good, the action's not going to be good. Well, the action can be good, but it's not going to make a good movie. The story is going to make a good movie. So people need to focus on the story instead of just action coming at your face. So I enjoyed the story and I enjoyed the movie. It's not the greatest superhero movie of all time, but for what it is, I liked it. I personally recommend it. I know there's a lot of people hating on this movie. There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's just a glorified, money trying to make money," which it is because it's made to make toys. Because right there at the start it says Mattel. Mattel's a toy company, so of course they're gonna try to sell merchandise. They're gonna try to sell toys to make it. But for what it is, I enjoyed it, and I highly recommend you guys go see it because, not gonna lie, I want a part two. And I think they could do a hell of a lot better with part two than they can with this movie. This movie was good, but I think if they do make a part two, it could be better with the right people behind it. So yeah, I would definitely love to see more of Max Steel on the big screen. And definitely maybe a cartoon series if they made it better. I think that cartoon series could be a lot better. If this movie was good, the cartoon series can be better. So yeah, I recommend you guys go see this in the theaters. And yeah, if you're gonna say, this review sucked, you suck at reviewing, blah 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 blah, go right ahead. I know I suck at reviewing movies that just came out in theaters because I like to, before I review a movie, I like to go and watch it a couple more times. But I'm not gonna spend more money to go watch a movie that I've seen in theaters multiple times. That's just not me. I know a lot of people do that for like Star Wars, Avengers, and stuff like that. I personally don't do that. But yeah, so I know I suck at movie reviews. That's why it's called movie review with the question mark, because I suck at them. So if you're gonna go and be like, "Oh, this review is everywhere. Oh, you suck at reviewing movies," go right ahead. You're not hurting my feelings. So yeah, guys. So I recommend it. If you've seen it, let me know your thoughts about it. And if you're gonna go see it, let me know if you're a fan of Max Steel. Let me know if I should try to get into the cartoon. And yeah, so that's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next